Hey folks, Randy Newberg here. It's getting to be that time of year where we start thinking about what's in our kill kit. The kill kit is what we talk about, and it's really a definition or a description for all the things we got to do that we have to have tools for when it comes time to take care of that elk that's on the ground. Because when it's September or it's dark at night and you're by yourself, you need to be organized. You have to have the tools to get the job done so you can get that elk back to the vehicle, back to camp, wherever, so that it doesn't spoil. And I say this with the preface that everybody's kill kit probably has some slight different variations from what you're going to see in my kill kit, because they might have a different hunting style, they might hunt with horses, or they might do different things. They might take care of their meat differently than I do. This is what I use, and it's specific to elk. If it was pronghorn or deer, this would really be much lighter, much more efficient. But an elk's a big animal, so we got to have a few tools to get the job done. Got three main categories of things that are in my kill kit. One is the items to break down the animal, which are mostly knives, tools, stuff like that. The other is storing the meat when you take it off the animal, game bags, stuff like that. And then the last thing for me is accessories. And we'll get into stuff like that, like tarps and all those kind of things. So that's what I have here. I have all kinds of different organization bags. Mystery Ranch makes all kinds of different sizes. So you can organize this stuff in a big bag, in a smaller bag, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to start with how I do mine. I'm going to start with the knives I use, why I use a certain knife or wouldn't use a certain knife, and then I'll get into the game bags, and then I'll get into the accessories. So starting with knives, I always look at it, there's probably three types of knives. This one here is the Gerber. It's called the exchange blade system. It's a replaceable blade, not disposable, replaceable and resharpenable. So I bring this little sharpener with me, and when I pop this off here and I put a blade on here, you can tell these are kind of scuzzy yet. We just got back from a bear hunt, but I can resharpen them and touch them up really easy out in the field. This is probably my favorite thing, my favorite knife that I use whenever I'm out elk hunting. It's got so much versatility. Those blades, you can really reef on them, which sometimes with an elk, you gotta give it the onion, as they say. So kind of a lighter weight version of that is a disposable blade knife, right? These are the ones where this is a Gerber Vital. You pull the blade off and you throw it in the disposal container that they give you. So this is super lightweight. The blades are a lot more fragile. They don't go as deep as one of these big blades, but if weight is your issue, this is really, really helpful. Now some of you really like to go with a traditional knife, and this folding knife, which Gerber and I don't know, I think we spent 3 years on these two sets right here. This is called the dual tool system, and the reason it's called that is because there's a tool here that you can see it's got the purpose of a really sharp edge, and it is also serrated. This is for getting around the burr of the antlers. This is for doing the hocks, the really tough stuff that is going to dull your cutting blade. So one of these three will probably do it. If you're one of those people who say, well, better safe than sorry, maybe you'll bring all kinds of blades with you. But for me, I usually bring one of them, and I would say 80% of the time I'm bringing the exchange blade system. And then, you know, you got these little Zoid bags from Mystery Ranch. You'll see by the time I'm done, everything has its place. I guess that's the accountant in me. Everything's got to be in its own little bag. That way if I grab it, I know I have it. So now you'll see I get to this thing called a game bag. This is what they look like when they're not in the packages. This is the smaller one. This is just for camp meat, or if you want to put it over the elk skull after you get the hide off it or whatever. But I've been using the game bags that Caribou Gear makes. I think I started using these in 2010, something like that. This is the Magnum elk package. They make a whoppity package. It is even lighter weight. The beauty of synthetic game bags is they're super, super strong. They're reusable. In fact, if you want to, I think Marcus either is doing or did a video. I talked him into washing some of my dirty game bags, and I told him he could keep them. But they're reusable, and they last forever. They breathe really well because they're not cotton, they're a synthetic. And they have this really tight woven fabric. So those of you who've used those old cheesecloth looking ones, you get a lot of weight in there, it stretches the fabric. Insects can lay eggs in between the mesh of that fabric. So the best of all worlds, the best combination of everything is going to be a synthetic game bag. And these ones that we use are by Caribou Game Bag. Like all this stuff, we're going to have links in the description down below. All right, now we're going to talk about a lot of accessories that I have. And you can see by the time I get done throwing all this in there, I want to have it all in one pack. And this is an old Mystery Ranch bag. I've had it for 12, 14 years probably, but I know if I have this bag, everything I need to take care of an elk is in there. You'll probably have something else that you want to use to organize everything, but for me, I already talked about this pull-through sharpener. They make all kinds of different ones. That's this one. This is made by some German company. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but anyhow, I've had it for a while. You can see it's a little bloodied up. This is one that is super, super helpful. This is called a hunter's tarp. You just lay this down on the ground because a lot of times you're taking care of this animal and there's no snow on the ground, so it's bare dirt. And you put this down and you can move that chunk of meat, whether it's a hind quarter or a front quarter, and you know if it does hit the ground, you're not going to get full of dirt and everything else. So this hunter's tarp is super, super handy. The other part, once I'm all done, if I have a bloody game bag of meat and I don't want my pack to really get mucked up, I can put this tarp around the game bag and then drop that in the load shelf of my pack. Works really, really good. The other thing, I still see people who don't use these and I shake my head and wonder why. They're super inexpensive. They're not inconvenient at all. If you're hunting in cold weather, a nitrile glove will keep your hands warmer. But the biggest reason you wear it is you don't want to have an open cut and get a disease. Any of you who've had that, like I have had, you will quickly start wearing gloves for any cutting and carving that you do on a wild animal. So I always have a ton of these. Now, I don't know if I have my my Benadryl with me. I usually do. I might have it in the other part of my pack. But if you are like me and you're allergic to these critters, yeah, I know, you're laughing, right? I'm allergic to deer, elk, and antelope fur and blood. But if you are, you want to carry some Benadryl with you. I pop a couple Benadryl before I really get going with it, and seems to take care of it. I don't know where it went to. Oh well, no big deal. The other thing that I usually have in here that hopefully I didn't throw out of here is some paracord. I don't know where I put my paracord. I had it. Oh, here it is. Paracord. It's in my other bag in there. I usually have about 10 or 15 feet of that with me. Sometimes you're by yourself and you just got to tie an animal, you know, a leg to a tree, or you got to find a way to hold it steady. And paracord can do that. Then you hope you never need this stuff, right? And what I'm talking about are bandages, a little bit of first aid stuff. I mean, if it gets really bad and you need some quick clot or a clotting sponge, that's not good, but it's better to have it than to not. So anyhow, that pretty much covers, I think, everything that's in my kill kit. Oh, the other thing, and I don't know where I have that. I should have brought it out here. I usually carry a pen in my kill kit. And the reason being is a lot of states you have to sign your tag after you harvest your animal. So I think if you look at all this stuff, you're probably going to say, I need this, or I don't need that, or I'm going to add something to it. The point of it is, it's your kill kit. It should reflect your hunting style. This is what it is for me when I'm out elk hunting. The beauty of the Mystery Ranch pack is I can just dump everything in there. This comes apart and it creates a load shelf right here. So my kill kit and everything, I have space for that along with the meat, right? This is just, I know a lot of people probably do the same thing, but this compresses really flat to a day pack. This is a Metcalf 75. And then when it comes time to haul something, you can open up this load shelf right here and it comes like this, and all your other stuff can then go back in the bag. So even though that's not part of my kill kit, it's what helps me utilize everything in my kill kit and get the first load back without wasting a trip. So anyhow, hope you need your kill kit this elk season. That's the whole idea behind it, right? Make sure you have the skills and the tools to take care of that once that elk hits the ground. Thanks for watching.